Bond stands alone.
Now Booker with Tucker on him. Throws it up for 8. Shot blocked by Antetokounmpo. What a block from Giannis.
17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan, open. Chicago with the lead.
And they're putting Curry in the pick and roll, trying to get him on Irving. Irving and Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up. It's good. Kyrie Irving from downtown.
We're sending it in, Jerome. That's for damn sure.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Tsp Wagers. I'm your host, Jordan. Stacks on stacks on stacks. Lats here as always with my man, Mr. Big Balling, Ben Larson. What's going on tonight, Ben?
Not much, man. Enjoying these all this, basketball playoff games, baseball, hockey's winding down. I'm loving it, man. Definitely loving it. How you doing? Took an L tonight, huh?
Yeah, not enjoying these playoff games tonight, but you rode with me last year through the playoffs, so it's an up and down roller coaster cycle here.
Yeah.
Nah, man, I mean, DeMar DeRozan, man, you got to tip your cap to him, dude. 41 points was incredible, man, hitting every shot. I really only worry about Chris Middleton at this point. Hopefully he's healthy, but him and Drew have been struggling, man, and the Bucks are obviously going to need both those guys to win a championship again because they needed them last year. I mean, Giannis can't do everything. He is the best player in the world, but he cannot do everything, so definitely need them, but
I'm thirsty. I want a beer. What about you? You want a beer?
What are you sipping on, Ben?
Yeah, so we got to mention that we are being sponsored by Tavour. Go to Tavour.com, download the Tavour app, use promo code Taproom, and get $10 off your first purchase of $25 or more. I have got a Tavour beer tonight, and this is Moore Brewing Company, and I did not look to see where Moore was out of Villa Park, Illinois. And I'm going with Pina Colada Marbles. So it's a milkshake style IPA. Here we go. Coconut, pineapple, and vanilla coming in at 7%. So we'll see how this one goes, and we'll see how coconutty is. Pina Colada, you kind of expect it, but
yeah, that's the dangerous thing about those coconut beers, man. I mean, I guess if you like coconut, it's not that bad, but I mean, like, I don't hate coconut. I just hate when like coconut overwhelms the palate. And I feel like a lot of like foods and drinks that have coconut often do that. So that's always my worry about coconut.
I'll be able to tell you how it is in about 5 minutes because I guess it wasn't cold enough because it foamed up like a mother. So,
ooh, damn.
We'll see.
Well,
what are you drinking?
I want to hear how that one is. I'm drinking a cider tonight from Newtopia Cider, which you've had. They're out of San Diego, California. We had one of those ones from Tenaya. This is the Viva Horchata. It's a horchata-inspired hard cider fermented with almonds, cinnamon, and vanilla. Coming in at 6.5%. Definitely off like the first sip and like the first whiff of the aroma. Definitely a ton of cinnamon, dude. Like you can't miss that cinnamon.
I mean, that's what horchata is. I'm kind of jealous because I do love me my horchata. That's for sure.
Horchata is a beautiful, beautiful drink. If you've never had a horchata, I definitely suggest that you go out and get a horchata at any local taqueria. If they don't have horchata, there's probably an issue with that taqueria.
Yeah, it's probably not going to be the best taqueria. But
for sure. But the reason why we're here, Ben, tonight, obviously, is to break down and handicap a couple games on the slate for April 21st, 2022. We're gonna do two baseball games today. Both of them happen to be in the afternoon. Well, every game tomorrow is basically in the afternoon, but these ones are going to be in the early afternoon if you're on the East Coast, or you're going to be having breakfast with both of these games at 10:30 in the morning. I mean, depending on what you're doing.
Games are so early.
Ah, man, it's a beautiful thing, man. That's a great thing about baseball is when there's something on during the day.
I got a 10:30 sitting meeting every Thursday that that I'm gonna have to
put it on your
these
phone.
games on pause for. So,
man, with the mobile technology now, it's a thing of beauty, man. It is a thing of beauty.
yeah, when you gotta be present, and that's the difficult part. So,
that's true. First game we are going to talk about, though, is the San Francisco Giants. They are heading into, they've been at Citi Field, facing the New York Mets. This is going to be the fourth game in 3 days because they had a doubleheader because the first game got rained out. Right now, the Mets lead the series 2-1. So this is, the Giants can tie the series or the Mets are going to win the series. But right now, the San Francisco Giants are going to send Anthony DeScalfini to the mound. He does not have a win or a loss, but he has a 4.32 ERA. They're going to be plus 116 on the money line, over under 7.5, and then they're going to be plus 1.5, but it's not a ton of great value.
yeah,
I forgot to have it up when I read this. Hold on, one second.
plus 1.5 is sitting around minus 180. 175,
Yeah, minus 175, minus 180 between there, depending on where you get it from. And then the New York Mets are sending Carlos Carrasco to the mound. He also doesn't have a win or a loss, 0.84 ERA. They are the minus 126 favorite, so slight favorite. Over under sitting at 7.5. Ben, so what's your thoughts on this game here?
I mean, I like a couple things here. I think something we can definitely look at is no runs in the first inning. Giants, they were able to put some up today, but with Carrasco on the mound, he has been pitching really lights out in his first 2 starts. Granted, those were against Washington and Arizona, but he has gone 10 2/3 innings and only allowed 5 hits and only 1 earned run. So I kind of like that no runs in the first inning. I also like Mets first 5. I think we can look at that. I think we can look at Mets money line, unfortunately. Just with how the Giants have been hitting the Mets bullpen is something that we can kind of look at. They've been putting a lot of runs up early in the game. And with Carrasco on the mound, it could be difficult. Could definitely be difficult.
It could, but you said something that I used as my handicap when I took the Giants today, which resonated with me, and it was that Carlos Carrasco's first 2 starts were against 2 of the worst teams in baseball.
Yeah, that's true.
And that was the same thing with Chris Bassett. Chris Bassett came into this game against Rodon, and he had a 0.75 ERA, and he gave up 4 runs in 2 innings.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yep.
He got knocked around. And that was part of my handicap going into that game. Was I was like, all right, well, Bassett was great in his first 2 starts, but let's take a step back and let's see who he actually faced. And I think that a similar thing could play into effect here. I mean, DeScalfini hasn't been great this season, and I think he's kind of regressed to the mean. I thought last year he was a lot better than what he normally is because he's a career 4+ ERA pitcher, and now he I wouldn't say he got knocked around in the last 2 starts, but I mean, he wasn't lights out, right? Yeah. The Mets offense it's been good. Hasn't really been great. I mean, they didn't score a ton of runs today against what's his face? Rodon. They only put up 1 run against him and then put up 1 against the bullpen. And then before that, they only put up 3 runs. And then they put up 5 runs in that first doubleheader game. But, I mean, that was way early in the morning. A doubleheader, it was a crazy game, dude. I don't know if you watched it, but it was a interesting game. The Giants were up 4-1. Mets came back because Alex Cobb gets hurt, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was an interesting game. So, I mean, bro, I'm kind of inclined to take the value here, plus 116 for the Giants, dude. Because I think that, normally if it was a pitcher as dominant as Carrasco's numbers have been through the first 2 games against a guy like DeScalfini's numbers, dude, this line should be minus 200 Mets, but it's not. So that tells you that the market doesn't really trust Carrasco as far as what he's done in those first 2 games, because he is going to have to regress to the mean. And maybe he doesn't, dude. And maybe I'm completely off, right? But I'm going to take the odds, the value what he normally does over 2 a game sample size against the 2 worst teams.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I would say
Yeah.
DeScalfini and Carrasco are probably more
Similar.
than anyone would suggest. I mean, at least the numbers, at least what the numbers would suggest at this point. So, I mean, I like the Giants money line here. I like the money line first 5, although I'd probably stay away from it just because if Carrasco is this good, like we don't know at this point, you know? So really, I mean, it's a gamble, but I'm going to play the odds, right? But I don't want to lose that first 5. I don't think there's a ton of value there. So I like the full game money line. I think the Giants have been the better team over the series. Like I said, like they were up 4-1 until Alex Cobb got hurt. Like it was a freak game. Like that game was just crazy, dude. And I was betting on the Mets in that game. So trust me, like I was happy the Mets won, but at the same time I realized I probably shouldn't have won that bet. Like that wasn't the Giants probably would have won that game 9 out of 10 times had it not played out with their starting pitcher getting hurt.
Yeah. What is Carrasco 3.84 career ERA?
But remember, he came off Tommy John surgery, didn't pitch a ton last year. So similar kind of situation with Severino.
12 start. Well, I mean, he's had 12 starts the last 3 years.
Yeah, because he's been hurt constantly.
Yeah.
So it's really a matter of, you know, do you trust that this is who Carlos Carrasco is coming off those injuries? And it very well could be. But I'm not going to take that. I think playing the odds and the plus 118, I think that's great value, dude.
Yeah. Let's see. Can't I find this here?
Last season, 1-5 in 12 starts with a 6.04 ERA.
Yeah.
1.435 WHIP.
I don't have opponent's batting average on here, do they?
Damn, I was just looking at it. Hold on.
Wow, he's 35.
Yeah, dude. And he's been hurt.
He's getting up there.
He has been hurt recently.
Okay, batting average. Opponent against. Last year, 272. So far this year, 135. But again, like we said, the 2 worst teams.
The Diamondbacks hit like 135 as a team all year. It don't matter who they face. They're literally the worst offense, dude. And like the Nationals, aside from Juan Soto, I mean, they're kind of like they're pacing right behind them, dude. I mean, although the Washington Nationals are better than the Diamondbacks, but how much, I don't know.
Yeah.
Both of those teams are going to be. Diamondbacks probably the worst team, though. But yeah, I don't know if that's Carlos Carrasco. I also think a safe value play here too is the over 7.5. I think this number is super low.
Yeah, I can definitely see that as hitting. I mean, neither of these teams put up a lot of runs, but
well, I mean, the Giants are like top 3 in runs scored.
Today it was 5-2, 3-1,
4-5, 8 runs, okay. 4 runs, 4 runs, 2 runs against San Diego, 13. I mean, dude, the Giants put up like definitely over 4 runs a game on average.
Yeah, averaging about 4.
You know, and that's even taking away that 13-run game. You had that 13-run game, they're way up there. And the Mets, on the other hand, like the last 3 games, 2, 3, 5, but then against Arizona, 5, 2 runs, 10 runs, 9 runs against Philly. Philly is one of the worst bullpens, though. 2 runs, 4 runs. So I mean, they're scoring runs too. Like this,
they're putting them up. Yeah,
this isn't a terrible offensive team. And the Giants bullpen has been kind of getting worked a lot, dude. Like, I'm not saying they've been getting hit a lot, but I'm saying like they've been working a lot.
Yeah,
they've been putting, and so have the Mets for that matter. I mean, Ottavino pitched like that 10th inning the other night, and he's pitched twice in this series. So I think this could be a game where we see like the back end of the bullpens getting involved because this is the 4th game in 3 days.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like,
yep.
it's not like it's a fourth game in 4 days. It's a game in 3 days.
Yeah, and they only went 3 innings today. Bassett went 6, which was a little bit of a relief for the bullpen there.
For the Mets. I actually
Giants
really
pitched
like that
4,
over
so-
7.5, man. I think
Yeah,
that actually might be the best
I
bet
do
in this
as
game.
well. Yep,
Nice.
do that.
All right, let's move on to the second game. We good on that game?
I think so.
Anything else we want to look at?
I guess we could look at no runs in the
Runs
first.
in the first. Yes runner, no run in the first. All right, let's take a look at that.
Yeah. Let's see. Today's game, there were 3. Let's see. Tuesday.
I know in the first doubleheader game, I think the Giants or the Mets scored pretty early on.
Mets scored first. No runs in that second of the doubleheader.
So
And
2 of the 3 run in the first inning,
Yeah.
and then I think that I have this feeling. I'm pulling it up right now, but I think the Giants score pretty often in the first inning.
Yeah, I think you can also look at the way DeScalfini has pitched. Hasn't been able to go deep into game, and it's allowed 2 runs within those. So
He's allowed 2 runs in each of the first innings of both his starts.
No. I don't have his breakdowns for these 2 games this year. But 3 2/3 innings pitched, 2 earned, and 4.2, and 4 2/3, and 2 earned runs. Let me pull up those games.
The Giants have 6 runs scored in the first inning in 11 games. So more than half their games are scoring in the first inning. They're only hitting 225, OPS of 589. They're actually much better in the second inning. But that's food for thought there.
DeScalfini has been scored on 1 out of his 2.
So 50%.
1 run in the
Carrasco's
16th,
0.
And yeah.
The Mets are scoring 5 runs in 12 of their games in the first inning. They're also not hitting well. 233 on base at 359. I actually like no runs in the first inning. Nerfy.
No runs? Okay.
I would take Nerfy here. No runs in the first inning, but I still like that over, dude, because I think both these bullpens are a little taxed at this point.
Yeah.
And neither of them have a day off as they head into Friday. So they have a 3-game set with no days off. So the managers are going to have to manage their bullpens at some point in this. And I think that this could be one of those games. So, man, I like the Giants money line and the over 7.5. I think those are my 2 favorite bets here.
Okay.
All right, let's move on to this next game. We got the Toronto Blue Jays. They will be going in and facing the Boston Red Sox at Fenway Park. The Blue Jays are sending Kevin Gausman to the mound. He's 0-1 with a 4.22 ERA. Right now, Toronto slight favorite, -115 on the money line. Over-unders at 9. Boston sending Tanner Houck to the mound. He's 1-0 with a 3 ERA. Slight dog, +105 at home. Over-unders at 9. Right now, Toronto -1.5, which has a ton of value. It is, a ton of value if you think the Blue Jays are going to smash, but +135, and then Boston +1.5, -154. So basically another coin flip game here.
Yeah. And, looking at their rankings, they're, pretty similar in almost all categories except for walks and strikeouts. Which leads me to think, but man, and then we switch over to the other side and, both of these teams don't walk much and kind of strike out more.
Dude, the Blue Jays they're 3rd worst in Major League Baseball hitting with runners in scoring position. 3rd worst, dude.
Yeah, it's definitely bad.
They're not good at hitting,
which
with
makes me
runners in
think
position.
under on this 9.5 here. Let's see. First 2 games of the series, 7 runs, 3 runs. What did they do today?
Today they put up 6 runs. The Blue Jays did. The Red Sox put up 1.
Okay, so 7. So what? I mean, I guess with
First 2
both
games in the
these-
series have gone under. Do you have
All 3 have.
Gaussman? Do you have Gaussman stats up?
Yeah.
Can you
So far,
check his or I can do it. I want to check his career ERA in Fenway. Because remember, he
Oh,
played for the
okay.
Orioles.
it's true.
So
I don't have up.
he
I
was,
just have his stats for this year up.
and
So
you know
10
Fenway's
and
one of
8,
those
10 and
parks that
2/3.
plays towards hitters too, especially
Yeah.
lefties. And Gaussman's a right-handed
10 and-
pitcher.
10 and 2/3, 5 runs, 14 strikeouts,
I want
going against Texas and the Yankees.
the Yankees are a good offense. So is
Yeah.
Texas, for that matter.
I mean, Hawks gone against the Yankees, went 3 1/3, 3 earned, 6 hits.
All right, here we go. Fenway Park. Fuck, I just had it. Fenway Park. 4.57 ERA in 11 games, 7 starts, 41 innings pitched. Allowed 21 earned runs, 15 walks, 4 home runs, 39 strikeouts, 1.234 whip. But remember, he did pitch good in Yankee Stadium the other game when he played the Yankees. And that was a stadium he struggled with in his career.
Yeah. 5 and 2/3, 6 hits, 2 runs, 9 strikeouts.
Yeah. I think this is another bet. I kind of like the Nerfy, the no runs in the first inning. Gaussman is good early on. He gets dinged up second time through the lineup. I mean, that happened against Texas. He wasn't great against the Yankees, but he didn't hold them to he held them to no runs the second time through the inning. Man, I like
What about Tanner Hawk.
off the face of it, I kind of like Boston there. I mean, I'm sorry, not Boston, Toronto.
Yeah, I think Toronto has just more of the dynamic offense, which I mean you can never rule out. Let's see.
Yeah, I mean, Boston doesn't have no slouch for a defense either.
Boston. Oh yeah, I'm not saying that they have a slouch for
JD
defense,
Martinez
but
is out though. Vasquez is out. So I mean that kind of
Let's see.
hurts.
Boston scored 2 runs. Okay, that was against the Yankees in that first.
But Springer's
inning.
likely not playing either.
Minnesota on the 16th. Yeah, he hasn't allowed a first running. So I'd go with the no run first inning.
Yeah, I like that too.
In this one as well.
And then I
I'd
would,
also go with the under.
yeah, I like the under as well. I think the under is a very safe play there.
Looking at money line, I'd lean Toronto here. I mean, it's not bad value, especially as it's moved. What are we at currently? Like 115, 120?
Depends on the book. 112
Yeah.
still at circa, but yeah,
Okay.
the value's kind of jumping all over the place. But I definitely like that under 9. I mean, Toronto's 4-8 in their last 12. I mean, in their first 12 games, I should say, all year hitting the under. So I mean, they're hitting the under like more than 60% of the time. And then Boston, on the other hand, they're 4-8 hitting the over under too. So they also are hitting a lot of unders. I think this number hasn't been factored in yet. You know what I mean? I think the books are still kind of wrestling with where these teams are at in scoring. And the only thing that worries me about the over is Toronto being able to score, because Boston really hasn't been able to score in the last 10 games.
Oh, I think the under is going to hit.
Yeah.
Because you've got your third string catcher in there as well, which doesn't help.
No. Toronto,
Batting
5 of their last
167.
6 in Boston have gone under. Or I'm sorry, 5 of their last 6 have gone under, and Boston 4 of their last 5 have gone under.
Yeah.
So
I
you
think
gotta
we go
keep
under
riding
in
this
that one.
under train, dude. Yep.
Yeah.
Take
Under
it.
train and no runs in the first.
Yep. Gotta keep riding that train, baby. All right, let's rewind. Let's recap. Ben, before we do this, just for everybody out there, 1 pint bet being least favorable, 3 pint bet being most favorable. So the bet you like the most. Ben, 1 pint bet of the night.
1 pint bet of the night. We're going to go no runs in the first inning for Toronto and Boston.
1 pint bet of the night. No runs in the first inning, Toronto and Boston. My 1 pint bet of the night, I am going to take over 7.5 runs, Giants and Mets.
Okay. That's going to be my 2 pint bet of the night is over 7.5.
Over 7.5. My 2 pint bet of the night, I'm going to go under 9 runs, Toronto and Boston. And what's your 1 pint?
Nice. My 3 pint.
3 pint, I'm sorry.
Under 9.5 in that Toronto Boston.
And then my 3 pint bet of the night, I'm gonna go no runs in the first inning, Mets Giants.
Here we go.
The Nerfy. I'm throwing 2 Nerfies out there. No runs in the first inning, Giants Mets. No runs in the first inning,
It's been hitting
Blue
well
Jays
this
Red Sox.
season, right?
It's kind of been all over the place. I think that's been the crazy part about it is like, for example, let's say you had no runs in the first inning against the Yankees Tigers yesterday. Well, you were damn near, like, the Yankees had bases loaded, 2 outs. Josh Donaldson hits a pop-up to the pitcher. Pitcher drops it, and they score 2 runs.
2 runs, yeah. That one
And you
hurts.
lose that bet. Like, that's the worst
That
way to
hurts.
fucking lose it, man.
Yep. I saw the over in one of the games today. I think it was Blue Jay. No, I don't remember who it was, but the over was looking great. 6 runs in the first inning, and then not a single run for the rest of the game.
Bro, that's why with the overs, you can never count it. Over under 11 runs today in Colorado, dude. First 3 innings, they had like combined 3 runs, and then they scored like 10 runs in the next 3 innings, dude.
Yeah.
Just,
Yep.
I mean, baseball, but that's how baseball is, dude. It's crazy like that. Like, it takes one
Angels,
bad
Astros,
bounce,
that's
bro.
what it was. Yeah.
What was it?
That's what I was surprised too. It was Angels Astros. Angels scored 6 runs in the first inning,
Yeah,
and then nothing. Fucking bagels rest of the game.
but the Astros couldn't score, dude. Shohei Ohtani
Nope.
threw a 1-hitter in 6 innings.
Yeah.
Incredible shit. All right, make sure to go to Devour.com or download the Devour app straight to your mobile device and use promo code Taproom for $10 off your first purchase of $25 or more. For Mr. Big Ball and Ben Larson, I'm Jordan Stacks on Stacks. Lads, we will catch y'all tomorrow on APR. Ben won't, but I'll be on with Eddie. We got a hell of a lot to talk about. We also have Chris Ransom from Draft Utopia stopping by. We're going to talk NFL draft, so make sure to tap into that. And then Ben and I will be back Sunday night, 9:30 p.m. for Taproom Sports Podcast. Y'all have a wonderful weekend. Let's win this money on Thursday. Let's go, y'all.
We out.